Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio. All right, so good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whenever you're watching, you know you're doing Give It People. Okay, see, we done messed up. This is what happens. I've been sick, y'all. I've been sick. So my little intro is messed up and everything, okay? So let's start again. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this Give It to the People live with Chisa, Pennix-Brown. I have been sick for, today would actually mark 18 days. By the time you see it, we'll probably be on day 20. But guess what? The biggest thing to take into consideration is that if you could get through, then you're okay, because it could have stopped, okay? We could have not got through. We could have been somewhere else. So the fact that I'm back, we didn't have a couple of shows because I just didn't want to spread the word like that to people. I didn't want my guests to be sick. And plus, I would not have been able to get through a whole interview without coughing. But through the grace of God, honey, okay? I'm back, and I have a new guest that I think you guys will love. And let me tell you why. Now, I'm not going to tell you his name yet, but I looked online. And his name online is the Successologist. Come on, somebody. So I just kept looking and I kept paying attention, and I'm just like, okay. And I said, okay, let me check it out, because I always like to bring on a gentleman that is about his business. And I'm not trying to say you can't find gentlemen that are about their business, because obviously we've had plenty on the show. But I think the biggest thing is that it seems like it matches. You know what I mean? Like what the person says, what they're doing, the content they're putting out. And, oftentimes I try to bring on people that I already know. Every now and then I bring on somebody that I'm just inspired by what I see that they're putting out. And so the Successologist was like putting out good stuff, videos, and just positivity. And I was like, we need to get him on the show. So please tell them who you are in real life.
In real life, opposite of my fake life. In real life, I'm called the Successologist. Well, some people call me Pastor Charles or Bishop Johnson, because I do pastor church, my wife and I in Raleigh. But I'm known by the Successologist.
Yes.
And I have to say it real slow.
Yes.
Because I was doing a talk and a lady walked up to me and she said, well, I'm really proud of, what your wife is allowing you to do. And I'm like, what you mean what my wife is allowing me to do? She said, well, you call the sexologist. I said, no, ma'am. Pump your brakes, ma'am.
First of all, I'm a pastor, okay?
Pump your brakes. It's
Successologist.
Successologist. She said,
yes.
And she was just like, oh, so that's why the talk didn't really go with.
So this lady was just like, yes, he is saying some good stuff.
But it doesn't go with his title. But anyway.
No, but you do have to say it. Because you know what? Like, I know one of the questions you asked, she's like, where are you from? And I'm just like, New York. So things that I say will have an inflection sometimes. And sometimes people will be like, huh? And I mean, to you, you're just regularly talking. But if it sounds too fast, or too slow, or has a drawl or something, or just a little accent on it, people don't understand. So,
And most people, when I say I'm a successologist, they kind of tilt their head because they never heard it before.
No.
But what a successologist does, I teach, live, promote, talk about the methods, technologies of success. And I combine those because of my theological background. I combine those with theological things. Like my basis is the Bible, and some people get freaked out about it, but that's where that comes from. But it does allow me to be able to be in both worlds, so to speak. Yeah. Because I can go to the church, and then I have a lot of regular business networking events and that kind of stuff. So, and everybody does the same thing. Successologist. What is that? Yeah. So, and truth be told, I made it up.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that some of the best words are the made-up ones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because then you do have to explain them. Like, we understand it. You can clearly see successes in it, and then ologists would, of course, give us that educational portion to it. So then when you put it together, you know what I'm saying? A person that, to me, studies success and then would also help other people to be successful. Right. That's what I get out of it. Yeah. So the biggest thing that I would say when I'm looking at the successologist would be your combination, like you said, of theological background, but then also practical business background.
Absolutely.
Because, now I'm going to say this, don't be getting offended, Pastor.
Okay.
This has always been, and so any of y'all good Christians, don't try to come for me, because I will get up underneath these comments, okay? You know. Don't make me throw these holy hands on y'all. I'll be tightly then. But this is the biggest thing. I've always had a slight issue because I read the Bible.
Right.
I go to church.
Right.
Specifically Bible study. Shout out Pastor Thomas. You better get it on. You better give me some.
Thomas.
You better give me some praise.
Okay.
All right. And the biggest thing that I have an issue with is I love the stories of the Bible, right?
Right.
I love the practical application of things, the rules and all of the rest of that.
Yeah.
But I always know that somebody, specifically some men, put the Bible together and said that this is what's going to be in the Bible. Yeah. Because if, of course, theologically wise, you know that there were other books of the Bible that didn't make it into the Bible. It was like, this ain't the cut. Y'all don't get this, right?
Right.
So that's always my issue. But I still think that there is value in the idea, the stories, and it's one of those things where it gives you a guide to follow.
Exactly. A good example of that is the Bible says, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now, if you look at it strictly theologically, as a man thinketh, the ETH on the end of thinketh means to repeat over and over again. So he has a dominant thought. For as a man thinketh in his heart, the Hebrew word there for heart actually means mind. As a man thinketh in his mind, so is he. Some translations even say, so he becomes. So then, the practical application to that is what I constantly think. My dominant thought is what I'm going to become.
Come on, that to me, that's that law of attraction. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And we fight it, especially in the church house, we fight it because we don't understand scripture. It's whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Be not mocked, God, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Now, we position it as money.
But it's not just money.
It's not just money.
Okay,
it's
give me some lessons.
Everything that I'm putting out, be it my thinking, be it my words, be it my attitude, whatever it is, I'm going to get that thing back.
Yes.
And I'm going to get it back greater than what I put it out because that's what the law says.
Yes.
You cannot plant just one seed. You're going to get a tree, but a bunch of apples on it with more seed.
Yes.
So the law is that whatever I put out, that's what I'm going to get back.
And see, I totally agree with that. That's why it's like, sometimes when you think of it, and you know how people are conspiracy theorists and all the rest of that. Yeah. I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a realist when it comes to things. So when I look at just let's just look at when people say the seed, right? I'm a big believer in that. Right. That this starts really small and then it grows into something else. And that's how I feel like with you talking about the Successologist, to me, it gives me that whole feel of you can do something. And so I'm all about that, like it may start small, but if you work at it, if you put your effort forth towards it, it will grow into something. And the thing is, you can't just leave it there and think that it's just going to happen.
It's going to happen by itself. Yes. One of the things that I teach, I talk a lot about how God created and what God did and how God has placed in each one of us the same ability to create. Yes. Now, just like you were saying, nothing starts out full grown. Nothing. So there's always a seed. So then, a lot of people don't do it on purpose. Where you are right now, whatever you have right now, whatever condition you find yourself right now, it started as a seed. It started as something small. And you worked on it, be it positive or negative. Yes. You worked on it, and now at some point you're going to reap the harvest of that positive or that negative. Now, if it's going to happen anyway, because it's a law, why not use the law to your benefit?
For the good. Yes.
Use it for your benefit. So then I have to monitor, okay, what am I thinking? Because if my thoughts are a seed, and if I keep thinking that same thing,
whether it's negative or positive,
it is going to grow. So then I watch what I say, what I think, and now I got to watch what I say. Yes. Because again, words have power, and they always start out as a seed. So many times when I'm working with some of my clients, they'll say, well, I'm trying. Stop. Trying is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Doing.
You got to switch it because as long as you're trying, you'll always be trying. Yes. So then we start working on what we say, not only externally, but even internally.
To ourselves. Oh. Come on now. Come on, somebody. Y'all getting these jewels? These gems?
Many times what we say in our head is more important than what's coming out of our mouth because we can fake it.
But you know what? And that's the biggest thing. So I've been working on y'all know I be working on stuff all the time, but I've been working on a new book. And one of the things that I feel like is important is the fact that you have, to me, a divine ability to do things.
Yes.
And you can talk yourself out of stuff very easily.
Oh, yes.
When you get that energy and you have that zeal and that zest, it's very easy to be positive. But when stuff happens that's negative to you or around you, because it doesn't necessarily have to happen to you, right? It can really, truly affect the way that you talk to yourself and talk yourself out of things.
Right.
And I think that to me is really important, because if I keep telling myself that I'm the best, I'm going to try to put forth the best that comes out of it. Right. But if I keep telling myself, well, I'm comparing me to somebody else, or they got something that I don't have, and I want why are you wanting what somebody else has? So there is a thing, right? So I think of this. I'm not an envious person. Right. I see people, I'm like, oh, I'm happy for you. Right. But let me tell you, if I was envious, the thing that I want most is I want to be able to make enough that my husband doesn't have to work. That's the goal. Right. That if that's a millionaire, if that's a whatever, then that's okay. Right. But is it enough to where you can be comfortable to do what you want to do when you want to do it? Yeah. And that a person doesn't have to do certain things. Right. Because I think about this, even with me being sick, right? And I thought about, because I got up on the end of the bed, honey, and I was like, God, I have prayed so much. And I just was like, I said, oh my God, I'm so sick. I feel so terrible. And in the next breath, I said to myself, I said, no, my husband's sitting there, he's looking at me, and he just looked at me so sad. And I said, you know what, God, thank you for my house. Thank you for the heat. Thank you for the blankets. Thank you for the medicine. I could be worse, right? And it was like, when I said that, I was still in pain. I was still feeling horrible. But it was like, I had to realize after a certain amount of time, you can't keep just saying that you sick. You can't keep just being it. Because I'm like, look, God, I got stuff to do. And you know I got stuff to do. So let me say thank you and then change up what I do. And so then I started doing a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there, in between sleeping and in between taking medicine. Right. But I had to do that. And that to me is important. But let me ask you this. Okay. So most of the people that you work with, though, are women, which is my demographic. You know, I love especially a woman that's about her business. Yeah. Why is that? Are we just better?
Well, in some areas you are.
Okay.
In some areas you are. Women, God has given women 7 divine gifts. Okay. At least 7. Okay. That we really know about, that are heightened in women, that men typically don't operate in.
That's amazing, because 7 is my number.
Oh, okay.
3 and 7 and 22. Don't be trying to play my number. Because y'all know if y'all in the church, you ain't supposed to play no numbers anyway. You know Jesus will come and turn over a table on y'all. Okay.
It's Jesus if you win, it's the devil if you don't.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, I work with women, and to be really upfront with you, I don't know why it's been specifically them. Yeah. But women tend to show up. They're more open. And right now, and I'm sure you've noticed this, just the plethora of women entrepreneurs, women coaches, women CEOs. And it's when it comes to men, we're very analytical. Women are very emotional. And so if something clicks with you, you automatically kind of give yourself over to it and you become a part of it. So if I do a live event, the majority of them are women. All of most of my coaching clients are women. My personal coaches, women. So that has a lot to do with it. But then again, you know, I'm married to a woman. I have 3 older sisters. All of them are women. You know, so I'm in tune with some of the things that will hinder a woman, some of the things that she needs to hear, some of the things that she needs to understand, even about herself. Sometimes women, you don't understand how powerful you are because you're not in the environment. Yes. That will promote it. Yes. One of the gifts that are heavy in women is it's called intuition. The rest of the world calls it intuition. In the church, we call it discernment.
Come on, I love some discernment.
You don't know why you know.
But you know.
You just kind of know.
That you know.
It's just, and you can't even explain to a person how you know it, but you just know it. All he said was hello, but in the hello, you kind of felt, just a little bit, or you just can't trust it. And the reason that many women push it to the side is because it's not affirmed. The people around you aren't saying, you know, when you told me so-and-so and it happened, I should have listened to you. They don't come back and say that.
Yeah.
They don't come back and give you the props that you are due. So then you start putting it to the side a little bit. You say, well, maybe that I was wrong. Or maybe, you know, maybe it was the ham hock. Or maybe it was the macaroni and cheese.
Was it the ham hock? See, that's why I don't eat pork. See? It might have been the ham hock. Get off that pork, y'all. Stop messing with it.
But women have this sensitivity that men just don't have.
Okay, so when I'm thinking about this, I think about the fact that I just had somebody say to me maybe a week or so ago that they would like to work with me because they see the work that's happening, right? But they said, and it wasn't like a bad thing, it was just more so of a criticism, but not in a bad way.
Okay.
That you do all of this for women, but what's the stuff for men? And I said to the person, I said, well, my stuff is open to the public, most of it.
Yeah.
When I do my certain things, yes, it is for women, but that's my demographic.
Right.
If men were like, oh my God, I'm coming to all of your stuff all of the time, then okay. Do I have some men that come to a whole bunch of things and that learn and everything? I do.
Yeah.
But the difference is drastic in the numbers. And so the gentleman was just basically saying he would love to do some more stuff specifically for men and specifically for black men because there wasn't as much stuff out there.
True.
Now, when I see things for men, typically it's like men working with younger becoming men, right? You know, so teenagers, right? And that's most of the stuff that I see, but I really don't see anything that's specifically for men. But what I can see is I have seen, so pay attention to who's really in charge of some of these events. I have seen a lot of things recently, specifically, that are women driven.
Okay.
Right? As far as who they're marketing to,
right,
who everybody is, but the people behind it are men.
Yeah.
But it's to me, it's the same thing that you're saying.
Exactly.
Is that I'm a man. I love women. I want them to be successful. I love men too. I want them to be successful. And I'm saying love in the, you know, just in that sense. So I love everybody.
Right.
But I have to focus on who comes to see me, who's spending the money, who's following, you know, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, we're running businesses.
Exactly. You cannot sell ice cream in the Sahara. Ain't nobody going to be there to buy it.
Melty.
Right. Nobody's there to buy it. You got to, if you want to sell something, you got to sell it to the people that want it. And so at first, I was kind of put off by it. I'm like, ooh, just nothing but women showing up. Am I doing something wrong?
But did it make you feel a certain way because of being a pastor? And I mean, I'm just saying that because you know the whole dynamic of you got the first lady, you got this and that, and then women always get attracted to whoever the pastor is. Was it more of that, or what was it? It
was some of that, and it was some of the what I thought people would think.
Oh.
I thought they would think. So then what I did was, of course, prayed about it, talked to the Lord about it. I talked to my wife about it. And my wife was, well, bae, if those are the people that are showing up, you know, you speak to the people that show up.
Yes.
Then I talked to another pastor about it, and he said, well, if those are people that are showing up, those are the people you talk to. Yeah. He said, but one thing you need to make sure of is that they know your stance.
There you go.
They know that you're a happily married man. You've been married for 28 years. You're not looking around. This is not some type of get together, some kind of hookup. This is you being able to help them along the way toward their success. Yeah. So as long as the message is clear, then and the intention is clear, then you shouldn't have any problems.
And that's true.
He said, but as soon as it becomes muddy, he said, and then too, make sure as much as possible your wife is sitting on the front row and they see
like
her.
This.
Right. Prim and proper looking.
There you go. But you know what? Yeah, because some people do violate.
Yeah.
So one thing that struck me about you, I'm looking through your, you know, social media and stuff. PMS.
Yes.
Now, you know I love a good acronym. And when I saw that PMS, I was like, what is he doing at the top of this? So tell them about PMS is so that this way they have a clear understanding. And if they need, you don't need to get PMS, but you might need to get some PMS. But tell them what your version of PMS is.
It stands for Power, Money, Success. Power, Money, and Success. And it's where and it's a master class. So it's where I teach things like how to get rid of money blocks, how to shut down those self-sabotaging voices. I teach things about your pineal gland, how God has put things physically, biologically in you that cause you to be able to create. I talk about those 7 divine gifts that women have. I talk about the biggest thing that keeps money away from you. I talk about, I call it the 68-second visualization, how to do it, what it means, what happens. I talk, and these things are techniques and methods. These aren't just stuff I'm throwing out there. Because what tends to happen, especially in the church world, is we say, you need to change. And that's the end of the conversation.
How? And you know what? That's why I knew, listen, God was like, go ahead and have him on the show. Because I'm going to say this too. So if you get your feelings hurt, you get your feelings hurt again. Type it, whatever. I have an issue sometimes with people that do vision board parties. And it's not the idea of it. It's not the community of it and all the rest of that. But my issue has always been, okay, so we cut out some pictures. We put it up there. We say that we want some stuff. How do we get to it? And people consistently... Now, I'm going to say this just because some people I know, this is not talking about everybody. But the people that put on the vision board parties haven't gotten there either. So... when I see some of these coaches, how do you start out a business being a coach and you've never had a successful business in the first place?
Yes.
If you're going to teach somebody else how to do something, to me, that means that you have already done it yourself and hopefully been successful at it. And then you can give somebody the cautionary tale. You can give somebody the best advice. You can give them the reference and the resource because you've done it. But there are a lot of people that are starting coaching businesses and that's the business. How are you coaching me to something that you've never done and have not been successful at?
I've done, and maybe even we'll do some more vision board parties. But mine are totally opposite of what everybody else is doing. I opened the vision board party by saying vision boards don't work.
There you go.
And they don't. They're pictures put together on a board and you put it up. So the important thing is, how do I manifest this stuff? And so I go through that process. I go through the process of how you bring anything. Human beings, as far as we know, are the only ones that can take a thought and make it physical form. Nothing else on the planet and in the universe, as far as we know, is able to do that. So then I teach people, this is what you do. This is how you bring that car or that trip or that business into fruition so it becomes real. If you don't do this, and if you don't do it every day, this is the other thing I really harp on, daily, is that it has to become a habit. Your dominant habits have gotten you to where you are right now. So then, if you want to go further, or if you want a better life, you got to look at your habits and start changing those habits. So you got to make a habit of working toward that. What am I doing today to get to that vision tomorrow?
Come on.
What am I saying about myself? What plan do I have? And the plan doesn't have to be perfect. But you got to
just look at the camera. I ain't even got
it doesn't have to be perfect and have everything lined up, but you do have to have a plan. And the plan cannot just be in your head or in your spirit. You got to write it down, tend to it. You've planted the seed for it. Now you got to water it and you got to cultivate it. You got to keep the crows
Look,
off
I'm over
of
here
it.
like I don't know how to do sign language, but this is the sign language version of that, honey. That was the water. This is the sunshine.
And you got to cultivate it and work on it and stuff and keep the birds and stuff away from it. There's a process because again.
Oh God! Look, so only the people that are seeing this. If you're listening to the podcast, you know you cannot see this. Just know I did bird symbols. I did the sun.
Yes,
we tilled the land. All of that. Planted the seed. Yes.
This was totally unexpected.
I knew this was gonna be a good interview. But listen.
But those are the things you do.
Listen, essentially what he just told you was, get my book, The 90-Day Focus.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what he just told you. Because I go over that and I found that, and this is why I say this constantly, you are the reason that you're successful and you're the reason that you're not.
Yes.
And I'm saying successful in relation to you.
Right.
What I usually say is you're responsible for your actions.
Yes.
And I usually say that you are the problem and you're the solution.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to what I'm talking about, you know, doing the whole confidence catalyst thing, you are the problem, but you can also be the solution at the same time.
Absolutely.
And so if you're not successful, it's your fault.
Yes.
And if you are successful, it's your fault.
Yes.
The thing is that you have to recognize that there are inert things inside of you
Yes.
that can cause you to be massively, wildly successful. And taking into consideration that successful to me means what you feel like it means.
Yeah.
So like when I'm teaching my classes, I usually tell people, I say, okay, so write down your 3 goals. And you got a certain time frame for what those goals are, right? So then when I look at it, I said, now, one of them cannot be, I want to be successful.
Right.
I tell them that. And then people look at me like, well, I do. No, I need you to define what success is for you, because it's not the same thing for me. So if my goal of being successful is being able to have my husband not have to work, if he chose to just say, I'm going to clock out today and I'm not coming back. That means that there's a certain level of things that had to be done in order to prepare for that. Right? There's a certain amount of money that had to be there. There's a certain amount of security in the things that you have and the things that you want and the things that you've taken care of that you don't have to worry about in order for that to happen, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, that is where I feel like people lose it, is they don't have a plan.
Don't have a plan, and they don't have any definites. Now you can give some generalities. Oh, I want peace or whatever. I want that. You can give some generalities, but whenever you become very, very focused, God has blessed us again biologically that whatever we focus on grows.
Come on.
So if I'm focusing on what I don't have, that thing is going to expand, and all I have is more things that I'm upset about. But if I focus on what I want, and only what I want. A lot of people say, I don't want to be broke.
Oh, I used to do that. I used to do that. I don't do that no more.
Me either.
Oh my God.
I only talk about what I want, and I only focus on what I want.
Yes.
People often say, well, I got so many goals and so many dreams, and I can do so many things.
Narrow it down.
Narrow it down. I'm not saying you don't have it. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm trying to take it from you. But pick one or two. No more than about 3.
No more than 3.
Because you can then start honing it down, focusing in on that thing. And then you start feeling successful because you start seeing things happen.
Yeah.
But even biologically, dopamine.
Yeah.
Every time you feel good about something, the brain sends dopamine through the body. That's that good feeling you get, that feeling of success.
And you want to keep feeling
and
it.
And you get addicted to it. Just like people get addicted to their pity party. Being a victim.
I don't have time for that.
Drama. You know, they'll even if there's no drama, they'll create it.
And I have seen that over and over again.
Yes.
So I need to ask you this because I know somebody is going to be like, where you say his church was? Okay, look. And I'm going to say it just like that. Where his church at, though? When can I come see this pastor?
Boy.
When can I be with the Successologist? Because I need some of this. Okay, so first off, tell them where your church is and when they can come to church.
Okay, the church is located at 1008 Bullard Court, Raleigh, North Carolina. Is called the Well Church. You can go to www.wellchurchinc, that's wellchurchinc.com, and you'll get our address and that kind of stuff. Service is 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings. We do Bible study on Sunday nights. I mean, on Wednesday nights, I'm sorry.
So that means you got plenty of time to watch this whole broadcast and then still go to church.
And still get there.
Come on.
And now this PMS Masterclass, I'm doing another one Saturday, February 29th.
Okay, so y'all got time.
You got time.
Where's the class at?
It's at the La Quinta Hotel, La Quinta Inn and Suites on Westinghouse Boulevard. You can go to bit.ly/PMS Masterclass to register.
Okay.
You can come live, be there live, or we have an online part of it too, where you can be somewhere else but still be in the room too.
Okay.
So whenever you go there, you can register and be a part of it.
Okay. All right. And so that gives them opportunities to be able to come to the masterclass, but also if they feel like they want to come to church. Now, if they want to be a client,
call me because. And I don't mean any offense by this, but
he ain't trying to take all of y'all.
Well, I'm trying to work with. See, I had to say trying. I'm working with only serious people.
There you go.
If you're gonna call me and you're hemming and hawing, or I'm not quite sure, get sure first, and then call me.
Come on.
Because I'm very, very serious about results. and practical, usable results. But it only happens when you're dealing with somebody on the other end that is committed, not interested, but committed to their success and doing the things that are necessary to bring that success into fruition.
Okay, so tell them where to call you at, and then tell them where to find you on social media where I follow you at. Okay.
Also. Phone number 919-228-9679. I know your pen's not working.
Say it one more time. Yeah. Say it one more time.
919-228-9679. You can find me on Facebook at Charles Johnson, page 2. Or I have a Facebook group called Mountain Movers Worldwide. Okay. You can go there. You can also go to Instagram at _Successologist. You can go there. Also, you can go to my website. Just started a new website. Okay. www.Mountain Movers Success School. Okay. Mountain Movers Success School. Sometimes people don't want to work with me personally. I have a bunch of classes that I've taught and programs and stuff like that there.
So they can do them online.
Yeah, they can do them online.
Okay. I don't want any excuses in 2020 because you have gotten multiple ways to be able to get a little bit of success in your life, okay? Yes. And so you can do it online. You can come to the PMS. You can come to church. You can become a client. Yes. It's no reason that you can't get the things that you need, you know? Right. And so at the end of the day, I think that we just have to make a decision on we want to change. Oh, yeah. We want to do this.
More than just talking about it.
We want something more. And that's one of my favorite quotes. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Right.
And so I like the fact that you have this combination because there may be somebody that says, well, look, I don't want you to be talking to me about Jesus.
Right. I get it.
So that may not be the person that's going to work for you because guess what? He's a pastor and Jesus is going to come up and that's his homeboy. Right. Okay, so.
Known him since high school.
Yeah. First of all, he said known him since high school. Okay, so I think the biggest thing to take into consideration is that, and that's why I said, you know, like you can't just work with everybody.
Right.
Just because you might want to work with somebody doesn't mean that you're the person for that person either.
That's right.
And so even though if you can even, you know, just understand, we do similar things, but you may be more drawn to one person over another.
Oh, no. That's
but
right.
At the end of the day, we're still trying to give you tangible tools that you can use in order to make that change. And I am just saying to people that I feel like we have to truly be responsible for our success.
Yes.
And if you had a terrible 2019 or whatever before that, even if 2020 didn't start out the way that you wanted, okay? Because January, she is all the way gone. You know, you got 12 more months, 11 and a half almost, to fix it, you know? And as God willing, you get more breath and more life, you have more time
about it. Right.
to do something. And so, Charles, he's from Lumberton, North Carolina.
Lumberton.
Yeah, where in Lumberton at? I don't even know what area code that is. Is that 919?
910.
910? Okay.
30 miles south of Fayetteville.
Yes, okay. Give them some of your other accolades because you know people got to feel a part of it with some of the school stuff. Okay? Shout out the schools and stuff.
Well, I'm graduate of Apex School of Theology. That's where I got my Bachelor of Theology.
I don't know if they got a thing, but I'm be like Apex. No, I don't know. No. I don't know if the School of Theology. Oh, maybe I should do like this Apex. Put a little cross and a little
and throw it the sides.
Look, right, Apex.
I got my Masters of Divinity in Leadership from Liberty University.
Okay.
I did go to Winston-Salem State University for 3 years. I met this woman, and I didn't go back.
Oh, hold up.
I met her in school. My wife, I met her in school.
Yes.
And she blew my mind. And so I said, well, I'll just, I'll get back to this.
I don't know. What's the little ram thing? You ain't a ram. I don't know. What's y'all?
Chewing tobacco, spit. If you ain't a ram, you ain't, well, I'm just saying.
Come on, praise the Lord. We can't say that last word. Okay, because you know what I realized is that sometimes, people like you a little bit more when they know what your resume is, right? So it's not, and I'm not trying to, but once they got that resume in there, then it's like, oh, you a Ram? Oh, you went to Liberty? Oh, you went to Apex?
Yeah. I mean, I've been blessed to speak around the world. I was in Dubai last year.
Come on, Dubai. You see my head wrap.
Then I've had the opportunity to be on television shows, Word Network, TCT, Dove Networks. I've even spoken for secular companies. They do with juvenile Probation.
Yes.
Their national symposium. I spoke for them. I've spoken to several business networking groups. Even the North Carolina Medical Board has been one of my clients. I work with all their senior management.
So I did that because I want you to know he is for hire too.
Yes.
Okay. So if you need to hire him to come speak to your group, get on that website. Okay. It was Mountain Movers.
Mountain Movers Success School.
Success School. Okay.
Yeah. MountainMoversSuccessSchool.com.
Okay. .com.
Or you can call me. Just call me and say, hey, look, I want you to come and speak to my group. Can you speak about this particular subject or whatever?
Yes.
And even if you are a business person, you have employees and you want to work on their mindset, because your business will not grow any farther or any more than the mindset of those people that you've put your business into.
Yes, definitely.
So I can do all those things for you. Just give me a call.
Well, this is why this show is important to me, because you don't know everybody that can help you. And when we bring on guests that give you a wealth of information, that tell you about their business, that give you some perspective, that is an important thing that I think that sometimes you might miss, right? And so if we can talk to people that are real, that are right here in the community, it makes a difference, because now you know, and so just... if you have the time, share this message in a group, share it in an event, share it on your page, share it wherever you are at, because I think that the message overall is something that people need to hear. And so with this, I would like to bid you guys adieu. I would like to say thank you so much,
thank
Charles.
you. This has been great. Thank you for allowing me to come. This is really good.
This was really a great interview. This is one of my favorite ones, especially since I'm back from being, impaled, right? Was I on the cross? I don't know if I was on the cross, but I was close to it. But now that I'm back, this was a great first interview to come back and just get all of everything that I needed, because God don't make no mistakes out here in these streets. So I would just like to say to everybody, make sure that you always show up and show out and continue to give it to the people.
Thank you so much for listening to Give It to the People Radio. Make sure that you follow us online at ladybusiness.com, LadyBizness. We look forward to helping you grow, sustain, and maintain your business.